So you catch up with us today already on plan B. Myself and Chris had planned to go to the Trent and try and catch some barbel, but the river conditions really aren't that good. However, we did have the time booked off, so we said why not come out and see if we can do 24 hours carp fishing. And the lake here is Broome Pits. I've never fished it before. There's a relatively good head of fish in here, so I think we've got a bit of a chance. But my main worry, and I think the same as every carp angler out there, is I really wasn't prepared, and I mean absolutely nothing ready. But it did get me thinking a little bit. When I was younger, less keen, you know, didn't have enough money to go and buy all the tackle, I bought the real simple basics and I used to catch fish. So do we need to be that prepared? So what I'd done is I went down to the local tackle shop. I picked up myself a little tubing kit with some lead clips on. Really going back to basics now. Ready tied rigs, it's all done for me. These ones here will probably put a little bottom bait on, and I did grab some little ones for some pop-ups maybe to try those as well. I grabbed a couple of leads, literally 2.5 ounce jobs, they're absolutely fine. And really going back to when I was a kid now, I think Richworth used to do them, the orange tutti fruities, but now I've just grabbed the Hinders version of some little pop-ups. And that's pretty much the basics of my terminal tackle is gonna be that. And yes, it does catch more fish. I'm not saying it doesn't. If you're prepared and you get everything spot on, of course it's gonna increase your chances. But like I said, I'm always thinking about it, and this stuff now is so good off the shelf. I think you can go and unplanned sessions and you've got a really good chance of catching a few fish. And hopefully that's what we're gonna prove today. So it's not going to catch anything sitting here. I'm going to get it all rigged up, get some baits out there, and hopefully we'll have a couple of carp to show you throughout the day. Yes, I am spawning from a bag. I left my bucket in the car, and it's about half a mile away, so I might go and get it later, but improvising for now. And I'm just putting a little spread out in my garage. I found some boilies that I had sitting there, so again, just what I had. I put half a tin of corn, and I had a little tiny tin of tiger nuts, because there's quite a few crayfish in here from what I've been told, so that's gone in there as well. So nothing complicated. I'm going to probably put 3-4 spawns maybe on each rod, just fishing tight up to that bush over there, and hopefully something's going to be random for you. Well, that has not taken a while. A little bit in shock, to be honest. The rod that I put underneath the tree, I put a couple of spawns of bait out and then sat down and just sort of watched the water. And it's, to be fair, it's one of those casts that when it went out, it was really good. It just clipped the tree. I mean, it was really bang on. But to get a bite that quickly, I don't know how long it's been out there. I'm going to say, I don't know, perhaps half an hour maybe. It's hard. Time does go a bit quicker when you're doing other things, but yeah, we're connected to a carp, and after what I said earlier, already been on plan B, feels quite good actually. Just really shallow water. Yeah, this one's now underneath the rod tip, and to be honest with you, it looks like a really good start.
Get in.
That's a start. Well, sometimes plan B can be better than plan A. for about, like I said, I'm going to say an hour's fishing. That is well worth making the plan B. It's got a little bit of disformation on the tail, perhaps he was grabbed when it's a little bit smaller, but a wicked looking common. Fought really hard underneath that rod tip. It's really shallow close in, crystal clear waters, so you can see everything that goes on, every head shake. It makes for really good viewing. So I might put this on the scales just to see what it is, get a feel for the first fish, and then we know where we're going from there. 21.7.
Nice.
That'll do. I should have brought more waders, I think. Go on, buddy. Rod back out, kettle on.
You can make me a cup there.
I'm not making you one, I'm making me one. We're back out fishing again, and I'm not sure why, but I'm sure you'll all agree the first coffee after a fish tastes that little bit better and you just relax into the session a little more. But as I said, we're fishing away again. The conditions for carp fishing are absolutely brilliant. We've got the wind blowing in towards us, we've got a fairly mild evening, and it just feels really fishy. We see a lot of fish here when we turned up, that's why we chose to fish here, and you hear it in every video you ever watch. You know, 5-10 minutes in the right place is better than 5 hours in the wrong place. So location is really, really important. And you've seen what I'm using. It's off the shelf, good, reliable stuff, but nothing complex whatsoever. The spots themselves, you can probably see just over my shoulder. There's a bit of a dead tree that goes into the water, and I've got 2 rods slammed up against that, and I've put 3 or 4 spoms over top of each rod. I think, looking at it, most of the overhang is above the water, but I am fishing pretty locked, not completely locked up, but almost locked up, just because I want to keep the fish this side, make sure everything's nice and safe and we don't lose them if there is the odd branch that goes in the water. So that's the plan. Like I said, we did come here late because it was plan B, so night's drawing in a little bit this time of year, so we've probably got a couple of hours before it gets dark, but I'm probably going to get the things sorted, get them tidy, get the brolly up, and we'll just sit into the evening and see what unfolds.
30. And fishing. 30. Fishing. What is going on with this weather?
Yo, it doesn't even look like it's raining. How is it Well, another bite. We were actually just watching a bit of football on the iPhone, bit of Super Sunday, and the same rod again, the one closer to the bank, has screamed off. Like I said, got to be on the rods pretty quick where I'm fishing to get them away from the snag, but it looks really nice in that evening sun, and we've got another fish now putting up a good account for itself. Like I said on the first one, it's really shallow here, so whenever you get them in anywhere near you, they are pretty lively, let's say that. Getting a glimpse of it. It's a little bit smaller, but doesn't matter, we're catching fish. It's a nice day, nice evening, and it's exactly what we come out for. Number 2. There we go, fish number 2. Definitely a little bit smaller, but still a nice fish. And I really probably should get my waders from the car, shouldn't I? There's me shoes off every time, but I don't mind getting a little bit wet when you're catching the odd fish. I'm just gonna slip this one back now in the water. We didn't really get him out and on in hook and mat. Like I said, he's definitely smaller, but another fish chalked off and get that rod back out there. Getting wet in all ways. Right.
2 fish and it's not even, what? Not even tea time.
Well, it's probably getting that way, but yeah, we've probably got an hour or so, 2 hours of daylight. So get that rod back out there, get dried off. Hopefully another one, not too far away.
Well, would it be a from the water's edge carp fishing trip without our customary takeaway? What are you saying, mate?
No, I wouldn't. Mixed it up this time. Away from the pizzas, chips, kebab.
Little wrap.
We've gone for a burger. But I guess the question is, what do you guys have when you go fishing? Let us know. Drop us a comment if we're missing out. Pizzas has been a favourite. We've mixed it up. But it's probably something you're going to come up with. We said you should be having that, so we might do that next time. Well, a nighttime bite. Waited a little bit longer this time, but it has screamed away and we're connected to another fish. Just about. Got in the sleeping bag, shut the eyes, dreaming of something happening, and away it's gone. Only little, but it's a bite. Well, that makes a trio of commons. He's definitely not the biggest fish in the lake, and they're actually stepping down in size, so I hope that's not an omen. But in honesty, we spoke to a couple of people this morning. We've worked out that this little area we're fishing is definitely the shallowest in the lake, so I did expect the fish to move out a little bit. So I'm quite chuffed to get this little fella, and just know that fish have stayed in the area as that light has faded. But I'm not going to keep him out too long. I'm going to get him on his way back and get another bait out there. Rudely interrupted, but I'll take it. Well, good morning, and what a different day we've woken up to. It's looking really stormy, and looking on the weather forecast, we're expecting a fair bit of rain, 40-mile-an-hour winds, potentially really good fishing conditions, but not necessarily the greatest for us with big winds and bank sticks that don't push in properly in this stony gravel. So we'll say fingers crossed on that, but more importantly onto the fishing. We had one last night. As I expected, it did push out of the fish did seem to push out of here throughout the hours of darkness, but now the light's coming back. If this temperature warms up slightly, they may push back in, and yeah, rain and windy is good fishing conditions, to be fair, so hopeful of another fish. We may give it till just after lunchtime, hopefully wait for this to pass. It's only meant to last 3 or 4 hours, so if we can sit that out, maybe nick a fish while it's going on, it'll be a session well worth doing. But the most important thing for me right now is to sit and watch this water and get the kettle on.
wind has really picked up now. The rain hasn't turned up, but it is, as you can see, pretty grim. Got the rods back out on the spot and just waiting really, fingers crossed, and see if we can nick another bite before we sign off. But yeah, it's really picked up. You see my storm poles are pretty much redundant.
It's a bit windy.
You hold it on. Well, I think you'll need to see this. We've only gone and landed a new PB.
Mate, it's well hooked.
The size of that.
It's well hooked, that wasn't going on. That is massive. I don't actually know if I don't actually think I could lift this. But if you needed any encouragement that your tackle is strong enough, I have reeled this in probably, what's that, 50 60 yards maybe, and honestly that is pretty much as I can do to lift, and that's 16-pound excess at mainline and a ready tied hook link. So if you're ever thinking fishing tight up against snags, you can't give them a bit of force to get them out, you probably can. Oh dear. So that's it, it wasn't to be. Tried hard this morning, moved spots, refreshed them, kept on it, kept looking for fish, and I did see one just as we're packing up. So it's always the way, they could be moving back into that shallows for the evening, I don't know, but time is up for us, 24 hours is done, and I hope this gives you a little bit of encouragement. You can go out with next to no planning, grab yourself a bag of bait, a couple of hook baits, some ready tied rigs and some other bits and pieces, and you can go and catch a few fish. It has, for me, probably not good because I am quite lazy as it is, so if I can go without tying rigs, I'll probably do it next time. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and obviously please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget, we'll see you again